Hi students, welcome to Narayana online digital classes. Today our session is some important questions regarding to the stoichiometry. Let us see one by one. Yes, first question, if we assume 1 by 24th part of mass of carbon instead of 1 by 12th part of it as 1 AMU, then mass of 1 mole of the substance will be. Please observe the question carefully. Generally, let us consider or assume this as carbon. I am doing 12 equal parts. This one of this 12th part we are considering as AMU. This as carbon 12 isotope 1 by 12th mass of this carbon 12 isotope of the atom you consider as AMU. Now what he is saying, if you change 1 by 12th part, what is it as 1 by 24th part? If you consider 1 by 12 24th part of mass of carbon 12 as AMU, what will be change in mass of 1 mole of the substance? Yes, mass of 1 mole of the substance remains the same even though the scales may be changes. The scales may be changes, but mass of 1 mole of the substance always same, mass remains the same even though if you change the scale. That is why mass of 1 mole of the substance will remains unchanged. That is the first answer. Okay, now you go for the second question, student. Yes, you see which one of the following properties of an element can never be variable. Which of the following property can never be variable? You see, first one, valency. Generally, valency changes for an element. Yes or no? Best example, you see FeCl2, FeCl3. Yes or no? Here the valency is 2, here the valency is 3. So the valency of an element changes or not? You take one more example, CuCl2, Cu2Cl2. In CuCl2 valency is 2 and Cu2Cl2 valency is 1. Yes or no? That means valency of an element is changes. You see, equivalent mass. As student, this is a new thing for you. Equivalent mass is nothing but atomic mass by valency. Yes. Equivalent mass is equal to atomic mass by valency. Yes, equivalent weight into valency will give atomic mass. Already you got this in your Mendeleev. What is that atomic weight corrections? You got this point. Equivalent weight into valency. That means as the valency is changing, automatically equivalent was changing. As the valency changing, equivalent mass of the substance is changing or not? Already in previous only I said to you, valency is variable. Automatically my equivalent mass is also depends upon valency. So if it changing, automatically it is also be changing. That is why this is also not correct, this is also not correct. Now which one is not variable? Atomic weight. Yes, atomic weight of the substance never be changes for an element of the atom, for an atom of the element. Atomic weight become constant. Atomic weight become constant for atom of the element. Now let us consider. Yes, the number of molecules present in 1 milliliter of a gas at STP is known as. Already you know, students, molar volume. What is molar volume? 22.4 liters of every gas at STP, any gas at STP occupies 22.4 liter is equal to 1 mole. Yes or no, students? So 1 mole of the substance always occupies 22.4 liters, okay, volume at STP. 1 mole of every gas occupies 22.4 liter volume at STP. Then the volume is called gram molar volume or molar volume. Now 22.4 liters is nothing but 22,400 milliliters. 22,400 milliliters. 22,400 milliliters of a gas at STP. STP means for standard temperature and pressure, that is 0 degrees centigrade or 273 kelvins, and 1 atmospheric pressure, 0 degrees centigrade or 273 Kelvin, and at 1 atmospheric pressure generally known as NTP or STP. So 22,400 milliliters of gas at STP, because I have converted the liters into milliliter, is equal to 1 mole of the substance. 1 mole having how many number of molecules? 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules or particles. Already you know, students, any substance that is 1 mole of the substance is always consist of Avogadro number of particles. Here the substance given is molecular state. Now the question, 1 ml of a gas at STP contain how many number of particles? 22,400 ml gas at STP consists of this particle. Then 1 ml of the gas at STP consists how many number of particles? That is 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23 by 22,400 ml. This ml and ml gets cancelled. Then the value become 0.00268 into 10 to the power of 23 you will get. That is 1234. Scientific notation we are showing 2.68 into 10 to the power of 19. 2.68 into 10 to the power of 19. This number, that is the number of particles present in 1 ml of a gas at STP, is called Loschmidt number. Loschmidt number. So the students, you please remember that 1 ml of a gas at STP, 1 ml of gas at STP consists of 2.68 into 10 to the power of 19 particles. That number is generally defined as Loschmidt number. I thought everybody understood. Sir, what about the remaining? Already you know Avogadro number. What is meant by Avogadro number? Okay, 12 grams of carbon 12. How many particles it consists of? The same number of particle containing any substance you called, what is that? Sorry, that is Avogadro number. That is 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23 particle you call Avogadro number. And Boltzmann constant. Boltzmann constant is nothing but gaseous constant or universal gas constant R, which is defined in a gaseous state lesson. That is R, gas constant per each particle or atom. This is per 1 mole. If you calculate it for per atom or per molecule, then that is called as Boltzmann constant, R by N. That is Loschmidt number. That is the 1 ml of the gas at STP consists of the number of particle is called as Loschmidt number. I thought everybody understood. And universal gas constant, yes, it is the gas constant. When you apply ideal gas equation, you will get PV is equal to nRT. This R, that is called universal gas constant. This R value depends upon PV by NT. Pressure, volume and number of moles and temperature of the gas taken. Okay, these are the things regarding to this question. Now you go for the next question, student. Yes, question number 46. Mass of 12 carbon atoms is mass of one atom. Mass of one carbon atom is 12 AMU. Yes or no, student? Atomic mass is 12. Mass of one carbon atom is 12 AMU. Then mass of 12 carbon atoms is 12 into 12 AMU. 12 into 12 AMU. Therefore, mass of one carbon atom is 12 AMU, then automatically mass of 12 carbon atoms mass is 12 into 12 AMU. If they asked you absolute mass of carbon atom, for example, if what is that? They asked you absolute mass of carbon atom, then how to write? 12 into AMU. AMU is nothing but 1.66 into 10 to the power of minus 24 grams. Yes, students, absolute mass of carbon 12 mean 12 into this one you have to add. Got my point? So the question, mass of 12 carbon atom is 12 into 12 AMU. Next, student. Formula weight of HCl. Yes, formula weight or molecular mass. Here H plus Cl. Hydrogen weight, how much? 1. Okay, and chlorine weight is 35.5. Then the total weight is equal to 36.5 AMU. That is the formula weight of HCl is 36.5 AMU. If it is mass of 30, what is that? HCl. If they asked you completely HCl molecular weight, that is 36.5, because atomic weight and molecular weight, previously they are different from relative atomic mass or relative atomic weight, relative molecular weight. But nowadays the relative atomic weight and atomic weight, relative molecular mass and molecular mass, both terms are considered as a single one. That is why the relative atomic weight and atomic weight has no units. Okay, now student, if I consider that not as a molecular mass, that is 35.5. If it is molecular weight, that is 36.5 itself. It is molecular mass of HCl is 36.5 AMU. Okay, now you go for the next question, student. That is, one atomic mass unit is defined as 1/12th mass of one carbon 12 atom. Yes, already in first question itself we have discussed this one. What is that? One AMU is nothing but 1/12th mass of one atomic mass unit, that is AMU is equal to mass of one atom of the element. So one mass of one atom of C12 isotope, one atom of carbon 12 isotope by, what is that? 12. That was defined as generally AMU. Carbon 12 isotope is the most abundant isotope of carbon and has been chosen as standard. This is correct and this is correct. That is, carbon 12 isotope is the most abundant isotope of carbon. Yes, it is 99% who is present, C12 atom only present. Most abundant means the percentage of occurrence of the same isotope of the elements. Yes, the most highest percentage of abundance is for carbon isotopes is C12. That is only correct. That is not the criteria. That is not the criteria to take carbon 12 as AMU. 1/12th mass of carbon 12 as AMU. This is not the criteria. That is why both statement A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. That is why second statement is correct. Statement 1 is correct. Statement 2 is correct. Yes, in out of carbon 12, what are the carbon isotopes? C12, C13, C14. 4 isotopes are possible. Out of these three, my carbon 12 is the most abundant one. That is okay. This is not the exact criteria to select that carbon 12, 1 by 12th mass of carbon 12 as AMU. That is the reason why that both statements are right, but statement 2 is not the correct explanation of statement 1. I thought everybody got my point. Now you go for the next question, student. Yes. What is that? Boron has 2 isotopes, B10 and B11, whose relative abundances are 20%, 80% respectively, atomic weight of boron. Yes, students. Whenever an element exists in more than one isotope, yes, most of the element in the nature exists as more than one isotopes. Whenever such type of isotopes are present for an element, instead of using atomic weight, we are using average atomic weight. We are calculating average atomic weight. Generally, average atomic weight, how to calculate? For example, A and B are the 2 isotopes of the element X. A and B, 2 are isotopes of element X. For example, if this is present in 1:1 ratio, if they occurred in 1:1 ratio, simply you take, for example, whose mass is P and whose mass is Q. Then what is average atomic weight of this element X is whose masses and average directly you can take. That means if the 2 elements A and B, in the 2 isotopes A and B are isotopes of element X, if they are occurred in 1:1 ratio, the average atomic weight directly you can write those masses sum by 2 when it is possible. These are present in 1:1 ratio, but in the nature all the isotopes of the element not occurred in equal ratio. When they are not occurred in equal ratio, you can't directly write their average as their average or the mean as average atomic weight. That is why we are using the formula, that is average atomic weight is equal to summation of percentage of abundance into atomic mass by their total sum of percentage abundance. Total sum of percentage abundance of all the isotopes existed for the atom. Here, therefore, average atomic weight of boron is equal to percentage abundance of B10 is how much? 20 into boron mass, atomic mass is 10 plus summation is nothing but we have to apply for all the isotopes. The second percentage abundance is 80. That means boron 10 and boron 11 are existed in 2:8 ratio, not in 1:1 ratio. That is why I am applying this formula into what is that? 11 by the total sum of percentage abundance. Already we are taking percentage abundance. That means the total sum always equal to 100. 20 plus 80. That is 200 plus 1100, 11 8s are 1880, that is 100. That is equal to 1080 by 100. Simply the value become 10.8. That is why the atomic weight of boron we are writing as roughly 11 or 10.8. Why it is? Boron is not existed in the nature as a single atom. It is existed as B10 and B11. Is it existed in 1:1 ratio? If they are existed in 1:1 ratio, 10 plus 11 by 2. Simply you can take 21 by 2, that is equal to 10.5 will come. Were they existed in 1:1 ratio? No. That is why I am taking like this. I thought everybody understood how to apply percentage of abundance and where do we apply percentage of abundance and average atomic weights. Now student, you go for the next question. Yes, the isotopes of chlorine with mass numbers 35 and 37 exist in the ratio. In this time he given in reverse way. Sir, why do they apply again and again? Yes, if formula to be comes or to be insist to in your mind, we have to do more and more practice problems. Okay, and now you take a percentage abundance of chlorine 35 as X. Then percentage abundance of chlorine 37 become 100 minus X. Why? Percentage abundance means out of 100 particles, how many such particles are present? That is, if it is X, automatically this become 100 minus X. Already their masses are given 35 and 37. Sir, you are getting one doubt. Sir, actually to apply this formula, you should have average atomic weight. Yes, already we know average atomic weight of chlorine is equal to 35.5. You have masses and average atomic weight. Now 35.5 is equal to X into 35, that is percentage of abundance and its atomic mass, plus percentage of abundance of 37 into its atomic mass by, what is that? What is the percentage of abundance? What is that? We don't know, but always the percentage abundances are equal to 100. X plus 100 minus X is equal to 100 itself now. Then 3550 is equal to 35X plus 3700 minus 37X. Now you students, 35.7 minus 35X minus 2X, you bring this side, that is 2X, and it goes that side, that become 150. 3700 minus 3550, then X become equal to 75. Therefore the percentage of 35 is how much? 75% is, and next 37 become 100 minus 75, that is 25%. Then the overall chlorine 35 and chlorine 37, that is 75 is to 25, that is 3:1. You got the answer? Yes students, that is why the answer is this. How to apply if they given masses and find out to percentage abundance. In previous problem they given percentage of abundance and mass, find out average atomic weight. This is the way you can carry on. Yes student, the oxide of the metal contain 40% of the oxygen and the valency of the metal is 2. What is the atomic weight of the metal? Here if you use a small logic, you will get the answer easily. What is that? Here I don't know the metal oxide. Metal is charge X, metal valency is X, and the oxide is -2 always. This is a combination of metal plus oxygen. Metal oxide is nothing but metal plus oxygen. You apply a small logic here. The oxide of the metal contain 40% of oxygen. That is, let us say 40 grams of oxygen is present. Then automatically the metal should contain 60 grams. Why? The total metal oxide percentage is 100. Metal should be 60, oxygen should be 40 according to the given statement. If you apply law of chemical equivalence, what it says? Law of chemical equivalence. In a reaction, always the reactants and products are always in a chemical reaction, the reactants and products are in equivalence or in same equivalence. In a reaction, the reactants participated and the products formed is always in same equivalence. That means the number of equivalents of metal oxide is equal to number of equivalents of metal, which is equal to number of equivalents of oxygen. Yes. Now, number of equivalence formula. Yes, previously we done. The number of equivalents is equal to, okay, weight of the substance by its equivalent weight. Weight of the substance by equivalent weight. Weight of the substance by equivalent weight, which will give number of equivalents. Now, I am equating both these two. Do you have any problem? No problem. Now, number of equivalents of the metal is equal to weight of the metal by equivalence of the metal is equal to weight of the oxygen by equivalence of oxygen. Now, from this, weight of the metal 60 grams by equivalent weight of the metal, I don't know, is equal to weight of the oxygen 40 grams by equivalence of oxygen. The equivalence of oxygen, the definition itself says that 35.5 grams of chlorine and what is that? 8 grams of oxygen, 1.008 grams of hydrogen. Any substance which is equivalent to this is called as equivalent weight. So 8 grams of oxygen generally you called as 5 sir, 5 12 sir. That means equivalent weight of the metal is equal to 12. Just now in my previous problem, I think second problem, while I am discussing equivalent weight is equal to atomic weight by valency, I said. Have you remembered or not? That is equivalent weight is equal to atomic weight by valency. Now, equivalent weight is nothing but how much you got? 12 into valency. Valency of the metal is given 2 is equal to atomic weight. That is, the atomic weight of the given is 24 grams. That is, otherwise atomic weight is 24, you can write. Understood? Simply, it is one of the, what is that? Method of determination methods of atomic weights. That is LCE, linear, what is it? Law of chemical equivalence. What is it means? In a reaction, always the reactant and products are in same number of equivalents. Number of equivalents equal to given weight by equivalent weight. Equivalent of weight of oxygen is always 8 grams. Equivalent weight is equal to atomic weight by valency. Then atomic weight is equal to valency into equivalent weight. That I got. Is it clear? Now I will go for the next problem. Yes. Neon has 2 isotopes, neon 20 and neon 22. If atomic weight of neon is 20.2. This atomic weight is nothing but average atomic weight. Again you apply the same logic here. Average atomic weight is equal to same you apply here. Neon 20 percentage abundance is equal to X. Next percentage abundance of neon 22 you take 100 minus X. Now you apply here, that is 20 into X plus 100 minus X into 22. Percentage abundance of neon 20 and percentage abundance of neon 22 by always the total percentage abundance is equal to 100. 100 into 20.2, 2020. Yes, our year. And next 20 into X, 20X plus 2200 minus 22X. Again that minus 2X you bring this side, 2X, it become 180. Why sir? 2200 minus 2020, that is 90. That means that percentage of neon 20 is equal to 90. Then percentage of neon 22 is equal to 100 minus 90, that is 10. Therefore, neon 20 and neon 22, the ratio is 90 is to 10, that is equal to 9 is to 1. Yes, are you getting the answer? The same thing in 3 ways of the problem how they will ask in the examination for the same formula. Yes or no? Now I will go for the next question, students. 15th, the vapor density of ethyl alcohol vapor is. How many of the students know about the vapor density? Yes. Generally, relative vapor density, that is density of a gas by density of any reference gas, you call as relative vapor density. What is vapor density? That is density of a gas by density of hydrogen gas. Yes. If the reference gas is a hydrogen gas, then that is called as vapor density. Sir, vapor density is equal to density of the gas at a particular volume, that is mass of the gas by mass of what is it? Particular mass, certain volume of the gas by volume of the gas, and mass of the hydrogen gas by volume of the gas. Both volumes are same. Yes, vapor density is the nothing but the density of a gas to the density of a hydrogen. It is the ratio between the relative density of a gas and hydrogen gas, which are present at the same volume and same temperature and pressure. Then vapor density is equal to mass of the gas by mass of the hydrogen gas. That is, vapor density is equal to molecular mass of the gas by mass of hydrogen atom into 2. Already you know mass of hydrogen atom is equal to 1. That is, vapor density into 2 is equal to molecular mass of the gas. That is the formula. Generally, the vapor density of ethyl alcohol vapor. How to calculate first of all vapor density? Yes. Vapor density into 2 is equal to molecular mass of the gas. Generally, this came from your Avogadro's hypothesis. Equal volume of the gases at a given temperature and pressure. Equal volume of gases at a given temperature and pressure consist of same number of particles. That is why at equal volume, equal number of gas particles are present, equal number of hydrogen gas particles are present. Equal number of particles is nothing but 1 molecular mass of the gas by 1 molecular mass of the hydrogen you can take. Now, finally I got, what is that? 2 into vapor density is equal to molecular mass. Finally, you got that 2 into vapor density is equal to molecular mass. Then vapor density is equal to molecular mass of the gas by 2. What about the ethyl alcohol formula? C2H5OH, that is C2H6O. 2 carbons, 2 into 12 plus 6 into 1 plus 16, that is 24 plus 6, 30, 30 plus 16, that is 46. 12 2s are 24 plus 6 30 plus 12 16 46, that is molecular mass is the 46 by 2, that is equal to 23. That is vapor density of the ethyl alcohol vapor is 23. From the vapor density itself you can calculate the molecular mass, reverse, vice versa. Understood, student? This is about the vapor density and how to calculate vapor density of a given substance. Now you go for the next problem, student. Calculate the molecular mass of the glucose. Yes, sometimes in the examination they won't give the formulas. Glucose or fructose, both molecular formulas are C6H12 and O6. Please remember that. Glucose and fructose, both molecular formulas are same, and sometimes they will ask you sucrose also. Sucrose is C12H22O11. Okay, as a chemistry student of intermediate chemistry student, you should learn glucose, fructose and sucrose. Sir, why do you these only considering about the carbohydrates? Because in your IIT level, first these 3 only present. Now, how to calculate a molecular mass of the glucose? That is 6 into carbons plus 12 into hydrogen plus 6 into oxygen. That is the number of atoms present. That is equal to 6 into 12 plus 12 into 1 plus 6 into oxygen. Oxygen is equal to how much? 16. That is 12 6 are 72 plus 12 96. That is equal to 180 AMU. Because mass of the glucose, mass become equal to AMU. Atomic mass become no units. Or molecular mass become no units. But in the examination if they given 180, also no problem. Next, calculate the molar masses of the following. In the same way you can apply, that is 2 into 1 plus 1 into 16. Same, carbon 1 into 12 plus 2 into 16. Why? Each oxygen is 16. If you go for methane, that is 1 into 12 plus 4 into 1. Why, sir? 1 is the hydrogen atomic mass and 12 is the carbon atomic mass, 16 is the oxygen atomic mass and hydrogen is again 1. Like that you can calculate. That is 18 will come, here 44 will come, here 16 will come. Understood, students? That is the way you can calculate the molar mass. Yes, molar mass is nothing but 18, 44 and 16 grams. Yes, molar mass is nothing but we have to express in grams. Why, sir? Molar mass is nothing but gram molecule or gram molecular mass. Molar mass is equal to gram molecule, gram molecular mass. 1 mole of the compound mass is called as molar mass. 1 gram molecular mass is nothing but molar mass itself. That's why you have to express in grams itself. That is 18 grams of water is equal to 1 mole of the water. 44 grams of carbon dioxide equal to 1 mole carbon dioxide. 16 grams of methane is equal to 1 mole methane. That 1 mole, what is that? Compound mass is called molar mass. 1 mole molar mass is nothing but 1 molar mass is nothing but gram molecular mass or 1 gram molecule or 1 gram molecule. Okay, students? Now you go for the next question. Calculate the atomic mass of chlorine using the percentage data. The same way you can apply previously where we have used the same, that is average atomic weight. Average atomic weight is equal to whose molar mass 34.9689 into 75.77 plus 36.9659 into 24.23 by percentage of abundance always 100. 7 plus 3 10, 7 plus 3 10, that become always 100. That is equal to, after doing all the calculation, the value must will come 35.5. That is average atomic weight of chlorine is 35.5. Okay, and next you go for the next one. What will be the mass of one carbon 12 atom in grams? What will be the mass of one carbon 12, that is absolute mass he is asking you. Carbon 12 mass is equal to 12 AMU. Mass of one atom of carbon 12 is equal to 12 AMU. Then absolute mass, he was asking in grams. 1 AMU is equal to 1.66 into 10 to the power of minus 24 grams. Yes or no, student? Okay, 1.66 into 10 to the power of 24 grams. After doing so, you will get 19.9 into like that 20 pointer. So you can carry on like this. Yes, 19.92 into 10 to the power of minus 24 grams. 12 into 1.66. That is why I am, that means indirectly is asking absolute mass. Absolute mass of the carbon 12. That is original mass of one atom of the carbon 12. If you divide with again 1.66 into 10 to the power of minus 24, again you are getting 12. That is reverse if you go. So this is the mass of carbon 12 in grams.